What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to an extra video because I want to touch on altcoins. This afternoon I will be dropping a video where I will be reviewing your favorite altcoins again. So I'll be going over the comments, but for now things are just not looking good. And I want to go over it to see what we can find about it. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification, of course, so you won't miss out on anything. And let's dive right into it. What stands out to me is for now that, and it's not a small or it's not a big dump or anything, but if you look on the daily time frame, you'll see that Bitcoin is going down today, right? And like I said, it's not a lot, but still Bitcoin went down around, 1%, give or take. But what stands out to me is that if I look at the DXY is coming down, right? So usually when the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. And when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And you can see this, that stocks, for example, the S&P 500 is doing quite good. That's moving up more than 1%. So the correlation seems to vanish a little bit between crypto and stocks. That's a good thing, of course, because you don't want crypto to be too related to the macro conditions. On the other hand, whenever we get a bounce in the stock market, would be nice if Bitcoin can also profit from that. Well, that's not what's happening right now. And the most important thing right here is that altcoins are still bleeding and it's making lower lows, basically since, well, a long time, and it's not stopping right now. And I made a lot of videos saying, yo, please watch out with altcoins. And I just want to sometimes kind of repeat myself, like, watch out with altcoins. A lot of people, they feel like the bottom is in, the bottom is in, the bottom is in, and it always turned out the bottom is not in. This is the total tree, right? So this is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you would have bought anywhere, you've just been catching falling knives, right? Because every time, now it's still the lowest point. So if you bought anywhere this year, you'll be in a loss, right? Unless you bought that one altcoin that popped. There are always altcoins that pop, but in general, everybody is in a loss right now. And I think this is going to get way worse. And that's different than that I'm saying that I think the bear market is coming to an end pretty soon. And with pretty soon, I think Q1 2023, maybe Q2, but that doesn't mean that altcoins can't get lower. So please listen to this very carefully. I'm saying I will say what my strategy right now is, what I expect, and do with it whatever you want. This is not financial advice, but just make yourself aware of this. So when it comes to Bitcoin itself, we'll see what happens, right? What I see on the chart for now, when I just look at this chart right here, every time what happens this year, we go down, we go sideways or a little up, and we go down again. We go sideways, little up, down again. 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 Sideways, little up. What's likely to happen right now? Down again, right? Because that's just what's been happening the entire year for more than for more than 13 months right now, right? So there's no good reason for me to believe that all of a sudden this now is going to stop. Now, there are a couple of indicators I would like to take a look at to find out when this is actually going to stop, right? Because for now, nothing has changed. Bitcoin is still going down, crypto market is still going down, and altcoins are going down a little bit, still a little bit, but it could be way worse. And you might feel like, really, dude, it's been pretty horrible, right? I've been talking about Bitcoin dominance for a while. And that's quite interesting because the Bitcoin dominance, look what happens right here. The Bitcoin dominance is sitting at, pretty decent lows right here, right? And this is just drawing off me what my expectation kind of is. But the Bitcoin dominance, if we zoom out, you'll see where it is, right? If I put it on the weekly, you'll see where it is, right? If you zoom out, it's still around its bottom, right? Can it get lower? Of course, it can get lower. But in every cycle so far, what happens is that once we have the bear market, which is done, usually the Bitcoin dominance goes up. That is together with a run of Bitcoin. Altcoins bleed against Bitcoin. I'm not saying necessarily they bleed in dollars, but they bleed against Bitcoin. And then when the altcoin dominance, the Bitcoin dominance is sitting quite high, right? And Bitcoin is sitting quite high, then usually people shift their Bitcoin back into altcoins, and then you see the Bitcoin dominance fall again. And that's the alt season, right? We cannot now have an alt season with simply put the dominance sitting so low, right? If Bitcoin has a big run, right, and the dominance goes down or sideways, then altcoins will do good, right? But for now, this is what I see. I see the Bitcoin dominance being in, let me remove this one right here and this one right here. This is the range. Very simple. This is the range since the last 1.5 years. Every time we were that low and we went up that high, altcoins were bleeding a lot against Bitcoin. Right here as well, September 2021 till October 2021. Look it up. Altcoins bleed against Bitcoin. Here as well, we were in January 2022 till June 2022. Right, so that's where the Bitcoin dominance went up. Let's take a look. January till June this year. Right. Let's look at some random altcoins against Bitcoin. January till June. Here we have January. Right. So that's where it started. This Cardano, for example, I don't even considering the wick right here, but just the full body, right? Till June. What happened? 50% down. And this is a random altcoin that I click on. Phantom, for example, Phantom Bitcoin, January till June. Well, this is even way worse. January until June, down 90%. You know what I'm saying? And I can pick any altcoin, basically. There are always exceptions, but most altcoins will look like this. And that's, 50%, 90% even, right? And that's just because of this move right here. This move of 23% on the Bitcoin dominance. All right, we already had some, right? But we still have around a 15% move on the dominance to go. That could easily lead to a 40 up till 60% down on most altcoins compared to their Bitcoin pair. Right now, what does that mean to the altcoins and their USDT pair? So what an altcoin is actually worth, right, against the dollar? Well, what I'm doing, okay, I will get back to my strategy, but what that means is very dependent on what Bitcoin does. Right? Because that's the thing. The dominance will get back up again. You cannot tell me that in the last 1.5 years, it's been going up, down, up, down, up, down, and now here, and it will always stay there. No, of course, it will go up again, right? And that's just this range. I'm not even talking about this range right here, because that range from here is a 36% move. And you just saw what a 25% move did to some altcoins. They're dying. They go to shit. They go to complete shit, right? So what does it mean when you look at the dollar value? So, for example, let's go back to Cardano and Phantom, for example, because we just had that example. That depends on Bitcoin, right? Because imagine that move on the Bitcoin dominance happens, right? It goes up, and it can happen, slowly. We just basically started it. Well, we could have a parabolic move next month or in 2 months, but whenever it happens, it will happen. I can almost guarantee you that, right? So imagine that happens. And Bitcoin goes sideways. So Bitcoin does nothing, right? Stays around 16K, but more money is going from alts into Bitcoin. Then Cardano will definitely go down a lot, right? And more than I just draw. What if Bitcoin also goes down when the dominance is going up? Then altcoins are, how do I say this? then we will see low levels you couldn't imagine for altcoins. And I don't think that the dominance will go up while Bitcoin goes down very hard. But that's what I think, I don't know what's going to happen. But if it happens, then I'm not even talking about a 9 cents Cardano. Then I'm talking about a 4 cents Cardano. Easy. Then I'm talking about almost the same 3 cents Phantom. Then I'm talking about what you want to know. Then I'm talking about a dollar Chainlink. But shit really goes bad then, right? What's also possible, and that's what I kind of hope, I want to say expect, but I don't know what to expect anymore in this market. But what's also possible is that the dominance goes up while Bitcoin itself goes up as well. Because what happened, let's take a look, I don't know, but what happened January till June while we had this move on Bitcoin? I think it went down because everything was in a bear market, but January till June. So we had January, which was here, till June was here. All right. So here we go. 60% down. So Bitcoin there went down and the Bitcoin dominance went up. So therefore these altcoins were bleeding so incredibly hard. And therefore you saw, for example, a Phantom go down 90%, right? And I think that 90% was kind of exceptionary. I think most altcoins did not go down 90%. Let's take a look at AVAX, for example, from January till June. So we have 31st January till June. Wow, 80%. So that's what could happen. It's kind of what's happening right now, right? But that happened while Bitcoin went from around 40,000 to 18 and a half. So this was a 60% move down for Bitcoin, right? So if we see another 60% move down for Bitcoin, we will be sitting at 6K. Well, I don't see that happen. I don't want to be like completely 100% bearish right here. But what I do want to be is very cautious because altcoins can really bleed. So, but what if Bitcoin goes up, right? Let's say Bitcoin goes up and the dominance goes up. That could definitely mean that altcoins also go up in dollar price. They, however, will still bleed against Bitcoin. So in that case, what's the best you can do? And that's my strategy. Then you can best be in Bitcoin, which is going up, and then buy your altcoins, which are lower compared to your Bitcoin, with your Bitcoin. Right, so that's my strategy for now. What I'm doing every time I feel like I want to buy some Bitcoin, I'm buying some Bitcoin. And I'm converting slowly but steady my altcoins into Bitcoin. I just sold some DOT, for example, as well. The half of my DOT back. And you would say like, dude, what's wrong with you? Look at the price chart for DOT, for example, right? Look where it's sitting. It's sitting at its lows almost. Why would you sell it right now? I mean, it's sitting just 10% from its, final big support point. But if you look at dollar, you see that. But if you look at DOT Bitcoin, you see that we still have around 25% to go before it's there at its lowest support point, right? And there are a lot of altcoins that look way better to sell. For example, I had some Quant. I sold everything, right? Because Quant, Bitcoin, look at this chart, right? This chart is screaming down, and down a lot, right? Because the first big support point for Quant really is sitting at around this level right here, which is 30% down. This could happen in a week, right? In 1 week, a candle down, 30% on Quant, definitely. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So therefore, I don't want to be too much involved in altcoins right now. The altcoins that I really feel like I want to hold them, I will hold them. But I'm definitely not buying any altcoins right now. And I'll probably somewhere miss out on a relief rally. But that doesn't change my game plan in the longer term. And if I am wrong, what if I am wrong? Then I have a bunch of Bitcoin. Well, you cannot point me out a cycle where Bitcoin did less than a 10x or so. So if I do a 10x anyway, I'm missing out on a 50x. But I basically have zero risk, right? Zero risk is not being into crypto, but you know what I'm saying. It's all relative. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. So I think that just, Bitcoin is the most important thing to look at right now, right? The Bitcoin chart and the Bitcoin dominance, of course. So if you want to know about Bitcoin, then I can show you this, made by Benjamin Cohen. Shout out to him. Great dashboard. And here we can see a lot of information on a lot of bottom indicators for Bitcoin. And the thing is, a lot of bottom indicators have not flashed yet, right? Bitcoin can still make its final leg down to 14 or 12K in Q1, Q2, and then touch the bottom, right? If we look at this indicator risk, then you'll see that I showed you this before, right? But in every bear market, the risk was sitting at practically zero, right? We are now sitting at 0.167. We were sitting at 0.13, but it went up. Why did it went up? Well, if we look at only the social risk, you see that the social risk just had a pretty big boost from 0.2 to 0.37. So for some reason, and I think it had to do something with OKX, but a lot of people are more subscribing to YouTube channels, so unsubscribe to this channel, unsubscribe to other channels, and subscribe to this one. But people are watching more YouTube, they are more engaged online, right? So this is one indicator that definitely has not shown the bottom yet. Also, if you look at the valuation versus trend line, usually the red line is the Bitcoin fair value. And in every bear market, usually Bitcoin is sitting at around 36-37% under its fair value. Right? If you see where my cursor is right now and where we are sitting right now, that's still a difference. We're sitting at 43. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's kind of a lot, right? We need that crash to around 14, 12K for this to happen. So that's also an indicator that shows me like, okay, no bottom signals yet. If you look at the price colored by risk, for example, and we only look at the deep blue, that really points out the deep bear markets. Yeah, we had it here, here, and here. We did not had it here though, right? So can we expect it to go off right here? I don't know. If we take the next one, that's something different, because this is showing all, even the COVID crash, all bottoms, right? And it's shown us a little teasing that what we have right now, but it's not like that clear as we had right here. Like this was very clear, but that's not, it's flirting. It's yes, no, yes, no. It's undecided, right? So that's also something that I need more clarification on. ROI after cycle peak, green line is where we are right now. If we do make a new low, then this is by far the longest bear market. But if you look at the ROI, so Bitcoin is now sitting at 0.24, aka 24% from its all-time high. In the last bear markets, it was sitting at 0.15 and 0.16. Right? So also not even close. Another bottom indicator that hasn't flashed, and really shout out to Benjamin Cohen, because this is so extremely helpful. If you look at where the hell have I? Yeah, the supply in profit or loss. So, for example, the orange line is the supply in profit and the red line is the supply in loss. So the more people are in profit and the more people are in loss at a certain point, right? If you look at the 40-day simple moving average, for example, or the 7-day simple moving average, these indicators have crossed around every bottom. This is what I showed you before. Every bottom they crossed. They cross right now. If you look at the 14 days moving average, they crossed every year. They cross bottom, right? Here as well, they cross right here, bottom, right? So every bear market, they crossed and then we got the bottom. Well, this bear market, they definitely crossed, right? They crossed. If we look at the 30 days, they crossed bottom. Every bear market, cross bottom, right? We had a small cross. It's not like, you know, very big, but it crossed. That's the point, right? But the thing is, we had the bottom before that cross. So that's not really accurate, right? Also, if we take a look at the 50-day moving average, we had a cross on every bear market still. On the 90, we didn't, right? So the 50 is the last thing I would like to see. We had a cross right here, small cross. We had it here, but after that, we got the bottom. We haven't got that cross yet, right? And it's coming closer. Now it's going more far from each other again. But we did not have that cross yet. So also, this is one indicator that we got in every bear market that indicated the bottom, but we didn't have it now, right? So there are a lot of bottom indicators that have flashed, right? Definitely. We got the pi cycle bottom indicator, but then again, the pi cycle top indicator of the last bull run was completely off, right? And the bottom indicator as well, by the way. So, you know, and there are a lot, but there are also a lot of indicators that just flashed every bear market, but they did not flash right now. But you have to realize, right? Is it actually worth it timing that bottom? Because is that possible? We have all these indicators and all these charts, right? And this is historical data. And with historical data, you can kind of predict what might happen, right? But will you nail it? Will you be absolutely perfect in it? I don't know. And that depends on what you expect Bitcoin to do, right? If you expect Bitcoin to just for some reason go to 30K and that's it, yeah, then you might want to time the bottom, because then, right, it's a big difference between where we are right now and where it might go. But if you expect, like me, for example, that Bitcoin goes to around $200,000, $300,000 in the next bull run, then I feel like, does it really matter if you buy at 16K or at 14K? Then it doesn't really matter. So it also kind of depends on where you think stuff is going, right? Because, like I said, then it just doesn't really matter. I expect like that the bottom might be around 14, maybe 12K. 14 till 12K, right? But let's say Bitcoin goes to $200,000. So if you take it from 12K to $200,000, you do a 16x, give or take. Right, 16x. And if we take it from 14 to 200,000, you do a 13x. So it doesn't really matter in that case, right? But I don't know, for some reason, I want to nail the bottom. I want to, you know, what you don't want to do, and that's double. You do not want to be like, this wasn't the bottom, this wasn't the bottom, this wasn't the bottom, this wasn't the bottom, so this is not the bottom. So let's wait, because at a certain point, we will have the bottom, right? And you do not want to miss out if it does this. So the best thing, in my opinion, if you are not a professional that can really time the bottom, but you do feel like we are close, just dollar cost, man. You know, if it goes to, if you expect like me that it goes to around $200,000, then buy a little bit at 16K. If it goes to 14K, buy some more. If it goes to 12K, buy some more. But if it goes back to 18K, fuck it, buy some more. It doesn't matter, right? But this is my expectation, at least, that Bitcoin, you know, will somewhere is around its bottom, at least by now, right? Because the bottom indicators haven't flashed all, but they are all close to flashing. So fine with me. And then when the Bitcoin dominance is sitting at around this level right here, at around 48.5, give or take. And if you want to find this on TradingView, you just fill in Bitcoin dominance. And you have BTC.D, right? That's the Bitcoin dominance. Once that's sitting around 48%, I will be converting a lot of Bitcoin into altcoins. Also, of course, I first don't just blindly do that. I'll go to my altcoin chart compared to Bitcoin, right? And I look at the chart itself as well. Like, okay, but is it sitting around the support point? How is the RSI looking? How is the MACD looking? How is the stochastic RSI looking? Are things overbought, oversold, whatever, right? But that's a point where I will convert. But that's the first point. This is my dollar cost, because this is an area that I think might get broken as well. Might. I'm not sure. But if it does, then, well, then this is the first support point by resistance point, by the way. Then I will be sitting at around 52% that I'm watching out for. And worst case scenario is going to around 57% in my opinion. This, if you have Bitcoin, and it's sitting here, you can really buy altcoins for an insanely good price, in my opinion. Insanely good price if you have the right altcoins on your radar. So that's why I want to wrap it up. If you want to know what the best altcoins are, in my opinion, just subscribe to the channel. I will talk about that a lot. So that's what I'm looking at for now. I just felt like doing an extra video on it as we're going into the weekend, and this weekend I will be doing a lot of altcoin reviews and responding to your comments. So super interesting content, super cool content. I already shot the video, so really watch them. Long videos, but really interesting. But this is what I'm looking at going into the weekend. So guys, thanks for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.